Hi, I'm Andre Marquis. I'm the Executive Director of the Leicester Center for Entrepreneurship. Welcome to our 16th annual Launch Berkeley Startup Competition. So this year is the biggest and best ever. What you are going to see tonight is the result of over 200 teams here from UC Berkeley who entered the competition. This is truly the best of the best. It's exciting to see how much is going on across UC Berkeley in entrepreneurship. We got Jeff Burton here from Skydeck. Jeff? We have, among our competitors, some of the almost 100 teams that went through our National Science Foundation Innovation Corps. All right. So there is so much going on campus. It's great to see all the schools represented here, the business school, the College of Engineering, all of our colleges over in science, School of Information, School of Public Health. That's what really makes Berkeley a great entrepreneurship community, is everybody's contribution. I wanted to first of all thank our sponsors, without whom this would not be possible. We're giving away almost $60,000 this evening, and you get a chance to contribute to picking some of the winners. So with that, I wanted to thank our student team. If you are a member of the student launch team, please raise your hand. Let's give a big round of applause. And I wanted to give a big thank you to Kirsten here at the Leicester Center. Putting this on is a year-round enterprise, and let's get to the evening. Let me hand it off to Moses and Kristen. Here we go.
Thanks, Andre. All right, so a little bit about what we've been up to today, to date. The competition is 1 year long. All last semester, we were getting teams together, getting founding teams, engineering, business, marketing, etc. Then we had the executive summary round in January 30th. So this year we tried to break as many records as we could, and we did. We had the most number of entries we've ever had across 4 tracks: IT and web, life sciences, energy and clean tech, and products and services. Then this year we walked the teams through a set of workshops. So go-to-market workshops. Then we had a Launchpad event where we had an Andreessen Horowitz partner come in and talk about financials and how to do a proper pitch. On Tuesday, we had the semifinals event where we had our 39 teams pitch, and that was brought down to 8. This afternoon, there's been the private finals. These 8 teams have gone in front of the judges, and we'll hear from these 8 teams tonight. We've got some great prizes going out. We've got grand prize at $20,000, track winners at $5,000, People's Choice and elevator pitches, which you guys will get to help pick. To top it all off, we have these huge, humongous checks that look amazing, just like this, that the teams will be posing with later. So let the games begin.
So first we have the elevator pitch competition, and we have a whole bunch of our semifinalist teams vying for that $2,500 check. As they go through their pitches, please be sure to remember which one was your favorite, because at the end of all of the pitches, you'll go ahead and vote on your favorite one. So let's go ahead and get started. First one is BCN Technologies.
So we're BCN Technologies, and we are a materials company. Materials, help define where we are in our civilization. We have the age of stone, we have the age of bronze, we have the age of iron. Arguably, the material of the 20th century was plastics, and everyone loved plastics. Plastics are great, they're light, they're strong. And so here at BCN, we're helping to develop the 21st century material, and that material we think is advanced ceramics. Advanced ceramics have been in development for over 20 years and are now just being commercialized. This is a huge wave that's being picked up by especially the aerospace industry. Our product helps to reduce the cost of these ceramics dramatically, and we hope that we're going to be part of this big new wave, and we hope you're there with us. So vote for BCN. Thanks.
Blowfish Health.
Does anybody know what that sounds like? Not that. It does sound like asthma. This is what a patient sounds like when they're having asthma attacks. My name is Alvina. I'm one of the founders of Blowfish Health. I'm also a nurse in an emergency room in San Francisco. And one of the most common things that we see that is just so terrifying are people having asthma attacks. What really drives me crazy, though, is that these attacks are completely preventable. Here at Blowfish Health, we've developed an asthma management solution. We've created a device that speaks to your smartphone and sends data to your doctor in real time. It also sends alerts via email to your doctor to let them know that, hey, your patient is starting to get sick, and they don't even know it. They haven't started feeling it yet. What we're asking for you today is to vote for us, EPO3, and to help us build 250 of our prototypes of our patent-pending design to make asthma attacks a thing of the past. Thank you so much. Blowfish Health.
Chemofilter.
Chemofilter is developing a device to enable high target drug delivery for liver cancer. Each year, there are over 500,000 cases of liver cancer that aren't surgically curable. For these patients, they have a dire median survival of only 20 months because life-saving chemotherapy doses are just too toxic. Our solution is a filter device that prevents chemotherapy from leaving the tumor site. So by minimizing drug toxicity and enabling higher dose treatment, patients will experience less side effects and have greater survival. Chemofilter reduces the number of procedures necessary to achieve tumor remission, improving the quality of life for patients and reducing the cost of care. Thank you for your time.
Next up is Fiskit.
Hey all, my name is John Pettis. Our company Fiskit is crowdsourcing fact-checking of all online news. There's a lot of work to be done there. So the way it works is essentially readers get to go through and rate articles online, any content online, for its truthiness, logical validity, and civility. And we go through on the back end and then do a statistical analysis to see, hey, did a bunch of people all call on the same sentence at the same time? And if so, we take that data and we're able to produce a reference version of that article that says, hey, guess what? This sentence, probably false. This sentence probably confuses correlation with causation. This sentence, totally unsupported. That crowdsourced across all of the internet, across all the people who are reading all this content, will let us go through and create a system where we can see, oh, even an obscure website over here, hey, this is true and this is not true. There's a lot of content going out there, and we need to check and see what's true. So come join us at Fiskit.com. We've got a beta coming out in just a couple weeks.
Givmodo.
I go to church every week, and each week my church asks me to donate to causes they support, like helping local schools. But it's about the only place I see cash or check anymore. Unfortunately for my church, almost nobody carries cash or check. Why won't they let me give using my smartphone? It's the only donation tool I carry with me all the time. When we took this idea into Steve Blank's Lean Launchpad class, we built a product, we did over 200 customer interviews, and we learned that we're onto something really big here. In fact, nonprofits want this too. And by leveraging the power of convenience, we're able to tap into the over $300 billion given to U.S. charities each year. We have 10 customers right now, half of which are nonprofits, including Goodwill. They've processed over $20,000 through our app, and they love the lift that they've seen in the giving. And the donors for Goodwill love the tools we give them to support them. We're Givmodo, and we're on a quest to make giving easy.
And now Greenly.
When you're stuck in traffic, you wish you had a magic stick with which you could remove all those cars in front of you. Actually, you would need to only remove 10% of those cars to be able to drive at speed limit. At Greenly, we've developed a solution to motivate everyone to slightly change its commuting behavior so that you don't end up with those 10% extra cars on the roads. Our app, based on proprietary technology, is your personal commuting coach. It knows when and how you're commuting, car, transit, bike, and uses gamification, rewards, and peer pressure to make you change your behavior. We're talking to several large corporate campuses and large cities worldwide who are eager to start paying us so that we can reward you for being a smarter commuter. Thank you.
Industrial microbes.
Fire, humanity's oldest technology, is still used as the foundation of modern civilization. We burn fossil fuels to create energy, but that also creates carbon dioxide. Now, what if you could run a fire in reverse? Actually, a fire that consumes carbon dioxide instead of producing it. Fire 2.0. And instead of releasing that energy as heat, we use that energy to build new chemicals that can be used for products all the way from biodegradable plastics to stretchy yoga pants. My name is Derek. This is Elizabeth. We co-founded Industrial Microbes to turn pollution into profit. Now, the way we do this is crazy. We take Fire 2.0, we bottle it up in liquid form in a microbial fermentation that's kind of like brewing beer, except the microbes eat carbon dioxide and methane, and they produce chemicals for a $10 billion growing market. Best of all, we can make these chemicals for less than half the price that they're currently made. Just last week, we were awarded $500,000 from a Carbon X Prize in order to help launch a new industry of companies making products out of carbon dioxide. Thank you.
LED alternative energy.
All right, good evening. My name is Indy Nelson. I'm the founder of LED Alternative Energy. Take a moment, look above your head. There's 168 T8 bulbs that use 32 watts of electricity. What LED Alternative Energy does is we're the first company in the world that provides a one-stop solution to your LED retrofits for a facility. For instance, if we were to retrofit this facility from a 32-watt bulb, we would go down to a 14-watt bulb, producing a 60% savings to your energy. If you look at a national basis, there's 2 billion of these bulbs, and if we were to replace every bulb, that would provide 140 million cars off the road. We take them off the road. Our approach is very simple. We go to a client, we provide an energy audit. We then install the new bulbs. Within a day, in 8 hours, we can retrofit a facility. We then recycle the bulbs in Oregon and provide a specific case study to our clients to provide corporate social responsibility. This is a huge market, not only just for climate change, but also to provide a better lighting environment for our clients. My name is Indy Nelson with LED Alternative Energy. Thank you very much.
And now New Life Beats.
Hi, my name's Kalen Kircher, and our business is New Life Beats. We're building a wearable continuous fetal heart rate monitor for at-home monitoring. There are 11 million pregnancies in the United States and Europe every year, and almost every one of these has a fetal heart scan, which in a hospital could cost upwards of $3,000. Our patent-pending technology will take that from the hospital into the home and allow for easy monitoring, relieving patients and the physicians of those in-office visits. So our team has over 10 years of medical device new product development experience, and we're committed to bringing this product to market in 2017. If we gain 1% market share, that equates to almost $40 million in revenue. So this is a big opportunity. We're New Life Beats, and we're bringing reliable at-home diagnostics to every family. Thank you.
OcuHunt.
Just recently, my friend got a job offer from our startup for $4,000, and he was forced to reply in 2 weeks. 2 weeks went by, and he had to accept the offer. A week after he accepted the offer, though, he got a call from another startup that was willing to pay him $6,000. Unfortunately, he had already made his decision. Every year, thousands of college students are forced to make critical career decisions without enough choices. At the same time, recruiters are always looking for highly qualified and vetted candidates. Introducing OcuHunt. OcuHunt is a platform on which students can come online, upload their first offer, we verify it, and we push it out to other recruiters saying that, hey, you have a highly qualified and vetted candidate, and if you want to hire, now is the right time to do so. For the student, he'll hopefully get more offers and better offers, and for the recruiter, he gets a highly qualified, vetted candidate. We are OcuHunt, and we hope to connect talent to opportunity. Thank you.
SmartBod.
Hi, my name is Liz, and I'm co-founder of SmartBod. We're addressing a $3 billion market that's growing at 20% a year and where customers are massively dissatisfied. That's vibrators. Yeah, those types of vibrators. As you would think that in a market whose sole goal is to delight its users, that they would be doing just that. but based on my experience studying human sexuality for nearly a decade and talking to and selling vibrators to hundreds of women across the country, I can tell you that that's simply not the case. This right here is the pinnacle of vibrator technology, and it's a motor shaped like a penis. We're here to change that. We're building vibrators that use physiological data to learn from and adapt to their users based on their preferences. We have 2 electrical engineers, a systems engineer, a software and data expert, and a designer. And together, we're here to change the face of sexual wellness. Thank you.
Good evening, friends. Usually, I like listening to music, but there's one instance when I absolutely hate listening to music. And that is when I'm waiting on hold trying to get to a customer service agent. Waiting in fear that my call might get disconnected at any time. Last year, the average American wasted 13 hours on hold. Sparkle is here to change this. You tell the Sparkle app who you wish to call, for example, by saying, "My internet is down." Sparkle figures out the right number to call for your internet service provider, automatically enters any account numbers, makes the call through the cloud, and waits on hold, listening to that same music all through the cloud, and calls you back once an agent is available. Sparkle, no more waiting on hold. Sparkle gives you your time back. Vote for Sparkle. Thank you.
Stroll.
All right, hi, I'm Jordan, and I'm the founder of Stroll, a company that builds a mobile application for doctors to help their patients find affordable care. Today, I'd like to share with you a personal story. About a year ago, I had a wart on my elbow. I went to a dermatologist who within 5 minutes had frozen it off and sent me on my way home. About a month later, I got a bill, and that bill was for $512. Since I was on a high deductible plan, I paid $512. At an hourly rate, that's $6,000 an hour, which is a quarter of the cost of spaceflight on SpaceX. And that's why we're working with insurance companies like Blue Cross Blue Shield, with whom we have early funding to be able to provide you an out-of-pocket price when you go to your doctor. So the next time you're with your doctor and she makes a recommendation for care and you're worried about how much it's going to cost and whether it's covered by your insurance, remember Stroll and know that confidently choosing affordable care will be as easy as a stroll. Thank you.
Symbiotic Health.
A 65-year-old man goes to the hospital for a routine procedure. Everything goes fine, checks out, healthy, functional. 4 or 5 days later, comes down with violent, severe, debilitating diarrhea, keeps him in the home, causes malnutrition, dehydration, and can even lead to death. This is Clostridium difficile, C. diff, the most common and deadly hospital-acquired infection in the developed world. 30% of patients are not adequately treated with current treatments. Symbiotic Health has developed a capsule therapy which treats C. difficile by replenishing the microbiome, a dense and diverse population of symbiotic bacteria that protect us from infection. Our prototype is 3 times more powerful, more effective than standard treatment for recurrent C. difficile. And we intend to use this as proof of principle for a microbiome medicine approach for infectious disease. My name is Gerard Honig. We're with Symbiotic Health. Thank you so much for your attention.
Unmanned Data.
Hello, folks. I'm Manish. I'm the co-founder of Unmanned Data. And thank you. You are at Berkeley. I want you to think big. I want you to think infrastructure. I want you to think bridges, dams, gas pipelines, things that matter and fuel our $16 trillion industry. The inspection of this infrastructure is still manual, believe it or not. We are here to change it and automate that completely. Use unmanned drones to get data, pass it through machine learning software, and create actionable data for the decision makers so that we don't have catastrophic incidents on our highways like I-35. We are Unmanned Data. We want to go to market as soon as possible, and our projections show that we should be profitable in about 3 years. Vote for Unmanned Data. Vote for your infrastructure.
Volunteer Forever.
Thank you. Well, I guess if you're not first, you're last, right? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Steve Weddle. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Volunteer Forever. How many of you have volunteered before? Please raise your hands if you have. Great. Put them back down. Let me know if you've traveled abroad before. Raise your hands. Great. A lot of people in this room. So volunteering abroad, that's combining these activities, is one of the hottest forms of travel right now. It's rapidly growing. But it's difficult to find a reputable volunteer organization overseas, and it's even harder to fund it because the average trip cost is about $3,000. I would know. I volunteered abroad in India several years ago, and so when I came back home, I wanted to build a platform to help solve these pain points. Volunteer Abroad is a Kickstarter and TripAdvisor for volunteer overseas. We feature reviews of volunteer organizations and a crowdfunding platform to help you find and fund your trip. So far, we have over 400 volunteer organizations on our platform, and our fundraisers have raised $500,000. I'm Steve Weddle. We are Volunteer Forever, EP26. Please vote for us. Thank you very much.
AllFit. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nancy Tu. I'm the co-founder of AllFit. Who here has had difficulty getting motivated to work out or be healthy? Wouldn't it be great if there was a way for you to get rewarded for being healthy and working out and learning the best way to do it? Well, AllFit does that by taking into account your nutrition, medical conditions, and activity information from your wearable activity trackers to give you personalized health recommendations and motivates you to be healthy by allowing you to compete with your friends for prizes. So if you want to get motivated and paid to work out, please vote for AllFit. Thank you.
All right, we're ready to start with our finalist pitches. So we have 8 teams representing 2 teams from 4 different tracks, and they have been selected from over 200 applications. So it's a huge honor for them to have made it thus far. You, at the end of this, will be voting for your favorite team. So keep in mind which one's your favorite, and that team will be our People's Choice Award winner. So first up, we have re-meeting.
Okay, yeah, it's going to be a little bit awkward because we're obviously talking about meetings, and meetings by definition involve at least 2 people to talk to each other. Okay, but I'll just go ahead and start this meeting. So, you don't need a lot of market research to tell you that meetings are a big deal. You guys, okay, let's do what some of the other teams did. Raise your hand if you were in a meeting today. All right, so you all know what I'm talking about. You all have meetings. It's the defining characteristic of the American professional workplace, right? You spend all your time either in a meeting, preparing for a meeting, trying to get out of a meeting. Employees spend all their time in meetings. Employers invest all their time in paying these employees to sit in meetings. You know, how much money are we talking about? So this market study said a 5-person, 2-hour meeting, you add up the soft costs of the meeting, that's like salary, office overhead, all that stuff, it's like $1,200. And so now usually this would be in the point in the meeting where, you know, we have a little dialogue and we say, how many of you are here? What's your hourly rate? I guess you guys all make minimum wage at least. There's like 300 of you. So this meeting, and they're going to kick me out after about 8 minutes, so it's going to cost thousands of dollars. And you guys just have to sit here and endure it. So here's the really scary part, though. 1 in 3 meetings is a complete waste of time. Okay, think about that. Right here, if I'm trying to tell you, and if you'll humor me, that this is a meeting, you've just had 30 meetings before this. How many of those were, well, actually, I won't even ask you that. Okay, let's move on. So, we're technologists, so we're like, okay, let's figure out how to solve this problem. The same study actually found what are the factors that correlate with successful meetings. Okay, let's be positive about this. So, the first one's obvious. Preparation, like in anything else, that's key. So they said, okay, let's build this product. We're watching a lot of Mad Men, and we thought, you know, let's get personal assistants for everyone, pour them drinks, they'll have a great time. Well, this was a branding disaster, needless to say. There were some issues with people misinterpreting the name of the meeting. But this led us to an insight that we should pivot. Okay, so we found out nobody wants more meetings. They actually just want to get out of these meetings. And are you guys familiar with scheduling algorithms? It's a computer science thing. If you have lots of things you got to coordinate, you try to fit them in a way with the fewest conflicts possible. Well, now flip that on its head. What if you don't have lots of things, but you want to create the most conflicts possible so you can get out of your meetings? That was skip meeting. Then we decided, okay, let's add like text alerts, you know, so that you're in a meeting, you get now you have to be smart about this. You can't be like, my wife's in labor, just like last week. But that's where the intelligence comes in. Now, the problem with this is we were beta testing this, and we didn't get very far because everything fell apart. We stopped showing up at our own meetings. So we said, okay, let's look at the third thing. So the third thing that correlates with successful meetings, and this is kind of surprising, it's everything that happens after a meeting. So if you have a meeting and you share the notes from the meeting, if you even took the notes to start with, if you email people after the meeting, be like, hey, that was a great meeting, let's follow up next time or something, that leads to 20% improved, people who measure this stuff, they said this is what leads to 20% improved meeting success. And so we're like, okay, let's focus on that. Let's call it re-meeting. And I'm kind of losing. Oh yeah, so we built a mobile app. We thought, let's start with that. We got a mobile app. Is that the latest one? No. Okay, we changed it yesterday. Here's the mobile app. You can record. See, check that out. The light turns on. It's recording. You can be like, oh, something interesting happened now. I'm going to mark that. Oh, I want to go off the record now. Let me mute that. That's pretty cool stuff. So we looked at the App Store. There's like 300 apps that do that. Okay. So, but that's all right, because remember, we're PhDs, we're speech technologists, we can build cool stuff. I'm kind of running out of time. So Corbinian, he talks really fast for a non-native speaker, so I'm going to hand it over to him.
I have this one. Okay. So, in short, it's like an interface that just shows you who said what at what time, search for it, get notes, share documents, everything there. It's a high-tech, so we thought we'd give a high-tech demo, but no live demos here. And we're saying, oh, we give a high-tech video, and they start a video, and then the video should actually, see, it kind of fades out, so the video is also not an option. So I actually have to show you a screenshot here, but feel free to go to the website, reme.com, scroll to the bottom, go demo, you see it live. The thing what it does is, so on the top, you get the speakers, right? So this is a video, you should definitely check it out. It's called The Experts, about a tech guy being at a business meeting. It's hilarious. And it's basically having, different people there. So you get color-coded speakers. And you get down there a bar which tells you, which speaker spoke at what time. So you can already nail it down, where you're actually interested in. You might not, be very interested in your boss, but you might be interested in the project manager. And then below that, they give you keywords, and keywords are colors. So if it's black, it's keywords everybody or more than 2 people said. If it's only one color, it's a keyword that one speaker said. So, and then I can put in notes on the side. Also has a search bar. You can search for speakers. You can search for topics. You can also search within your notes. So anytime you type something, we run through the meeting and find the right spot where you're interested in. And there's one thing which I'd like to show you live, which I can't because it's not live, is you can actually set a scope. You can just say, oh, don't want to look at the whole meeting of the first 10 minutes because it was late. So you use a thing, use your mouse, select 10 minutes, and you see what those 10 minutes were about. You slide it to the left, and you see what those minutes were, the next 10 minutes are about. So you can set your scope, find what it is. Basically, it is a visual search index to your meeting. So anything you're interested in, you'll find it.
Did you guys get all that? Okay. So I think the coolest feature is the comments you can add on the right. You'll notice very useful comments that we added in there. That's also useful for sharing. Okay, so who are we? We are, I'm a computer science PhD student here. I work in speech recognition. Corbinian, he's from Germany. He works on speech recognition too and spoken dialogue systems. David, he's a Swiss engineer, so he's like giving you precision engineering on voice. And Erica, she's a Swiss banker, which she doesn't understand how cool that is. She's like, I'm in Switzerland, I'm just a banker. And I'm like, no, you're a Swiss banker, which means people trust you. People are all right with you safeguarding their very private data because they know you're not going to hand it over to the NSA, things like that. We have actually high-tech solutions to take care of that. There's cool patents around all this stuff, privacy-preserving ASR, ad hoc microphone arrays, which basically if everybody in the meeting has a smartphone, everybody's got a microphone. You can make an ad hoc mic array from that. We do speech recognition using, if you upload your PowerPoint, we can bias the speech recognition results to that. It's a lot of high-tech stuff. It's pretty cool. But yeah, here we are, and I'm actually doing all right in time, so I'm just going to say, if you're a busy student, professional, whatever, you want to get something out of your past conversations, save them, search them, share them. We have awesome technology, and what we want you to get out of every meeting is just get more out of your meetings, have more effective meetings. And I got 10 seconds left, and I just want to say thank you guys all for lending me, for giving me your very, very valuable time. And that's it. Thank you.
And next up, we have Tiemann and Company.
Hello. I'm Chloe Alpert. I'm the CEO and founder of Tiemann & Company, and this is Alistair Tuger, and he is the CEO or COO and founder of Tiemann & Company. We are going to become the face of custom colored gemstone rings in the United States and the world. The global jewelry market is a $275 billion industry. 87% of that is fine jewelry. The fact is that the jewelry industry is growing gangbusters. The industry itself has grown 54% in the last 5 years. The price of tourmaline has grown in price 100% per carat every single year for the last 5 years. And the price of sapphire has doubled in the past year alone. This is a market that has a very high barrier to entry. The fact is that it is very relationship driven. The jewelry industry is like the mob. You have to be a part of the mob in order to be a part of the mob. So the fact is that we're looking at a global opportunity. We have access to over 8 figures worth of inventory. I'm a certified gemologist, and I have a lifetime of experience in this industry. We have relationships that go all the way up the supply chain. We have relationships with award-winning gem cutters, with mines all over the world, and artisanal designers that are working at every single level of this industry. I'm a certified gemologist. I was educated in the UK, and I got a full-ride scholarship to the Gemological Institute of America. Alistair ran operations on a gold mining startup in the Philippines and is an international brand strategy expert. Our full-stack engineer has over 10 years of experience in doing full development. And what we're doing is we're going to be developing a customization software. Right now, we have an amazing spectrum of inventory. These are gemstones from all over the world, from amazing award-winning gem cutters, from amazing award-winning contemporary and artisanal designers. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this to the world. So we're a luxury brand. What a lot of people try to do is commoditize jewelry. The fact is that this is a meaningful experience. This is not some generic thing. When you buy jewelry, it is at an emotional point in your life. We are going to build a customization platform. You come to our site, you see an incredible gemstone from this amazing designer, you find a setting, and you are able to build your customized product on our site. Now, I bet you're all wondering, that's really interesting and that's very cool, but jewelry costs a lot of money. You know, I don't know if I would trust someone, and what if I don't like it? You know, I'm not very happy. That's where we're going to innovate in this space. Our entire inventory is going to be scanned using 3D laser scanners and CAD programs. We are going to be able to print off 3D plastic models of our entire inventory. No matter where you are in the world, you can come to Tiemann, you can look at all these settings, and you can order a model wherever you are, and you can try it on to make sure that you're able to choose and develop the perfect ring for your taste. Not only that, we are going to be a major point of education for you. The fact is that there are infinite numbers of colored gemstones from all over the world, and there is so much information and education out there. We want to be your place where you come to get the most incredible colored gemstones, the most amazing settings, and get the most education that you can for a consumer. What we're able to do with our service model is we actually are a full-scale manufacturer. We are able to license all of our designs and actually produce these things to order. So you have a full return policy, and you're able to get exactly what you want. Right now, our average transaction size is $7,000, and we have a profit of we have a very high profit margin. We've done $20,000 to date, and that's our pilot sales where we're actually testing our customization software. We have a $15,000 sales pipeline, and right now we're doing a really cool project with Haas, and we're going to be doing a custom class ring. Now, one of the things we're looking to do with this is use colored gemstones, and you can come see us later about this, but what we want to do is have a ring that you can wear throughout your entire life. You don't want to wear a signet ring. You want something that you can wear at any stage in your life. So come take a look at this. So we're a very early stage company. We literally started doing sales December and January. So we're just finding our feet. We've been accepted into 500 startups batch 9. We've accepted a seed investment, and we also have an angel investment. And right now, we're just beginning.
Now up, Vivita Technologies.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maylene Wong. This is Jenny Lee, and we are co-founders of Vivita Technologies. Our mission is to eliminate the shortage of donor organs and tissues by generating off-the-shelf replacements from animal sources. And due to the conservation of the basic building blocks that make up tissues and organs, we have the potential to build a broad product pipeline of replacements. Our initial product will be a tissue patch, but this represents a stepping stone, paving the way for increasingly complex organ replacements. Tissue patches have already been identified to potentially address unmet need in multiple segments of the growing regenerative market space. Patches are already being used clinically to repair hernias as well as skin grafts, but are associated with limitations our process has the potential to resolve. Due to our in-house expertise as well as our strategy to develop increasingly complex blood contacting products, we'll begin with application in the cardiology and the vascular space. The American lifestyle is contributing to the onset of fatty plaque formation within critical arteries, growing your risk of heart attack and stroke. Every year in the United States, 800,000 Americans suffer a stroke event. And if you're identified by your doctor to be at high risk of stroke, it will be recommended that you undergo a procedure to open up the carotid artery, scoop out that fatty plaque, and patch over that material with a replacement patch. Currently, the preferred material for such a material is saphenous vein, which will be cut out of your own leg. This material most mimics your original artery, but the hospital must incur the additional time and cost to perform this procedure, subjecting you to additional pain and scarring. Therefore, the advent of synthetic materials has been an exciting prospect, avoiding the vein harvest procedure, but have been shown to increase your risk of forming additional blood clots, as well as having poor long-term functionality. Therefore, clinicians have looked toward animal-derived materials as a means to marry the benefits of a biological material while being readily available. As you can imagine, the mention of animal-derived materials suddenly brings upon fears of immune rejection. So in order to prevent the onset of immune rejection, the immune triggers within the material have been shown to be able to be chemically processed, masking the material from recognition by your own immune cells. Unfortunately, this chemical fixation process also prevents the ability of this animal tissue to undergo regeneration, which means that your natural body's process of turning this material into your own is prevented. Therefore, decellularization strategies have been developed which instead avoid chemical fixation and will burst open the cells of the tissue, but they don't adequately remove the immune triggers that were the problem in the first place. Therefore, there's a large space within this market for a product which is both biocompatible and regenerative, and we believe we have a technology that allows us to perform in this space. Our process is a stepwise method which targets direct removal of the immune triggers in order to yield scaffold compatible with your body immediately upon implantation. This process is already patent pending and has been tested in small and large animal studies. On the left here are results of our small animal trials. I'd like to draw your attention to our patch at the bottom, outlined in the graph, in the dotted lines. As indicated by the decreased amount of purple staining, we have minimal immune and inflammatory response, as compared to the fixed and the decellularized materials, indicating there's less rejection of our material at the state of this test. To the right of that, we have results from our preliminary pig pilot study where this was actually implanted in a carotid artery. And I'd like to show you that the patch outlined in pink, which still remains 4 weeks post-implantation, suggests this material is not being changed from animal into your own. It's persisting. Further, there's a thin vessel wall associated with it, suggesting that under high pressure, this area is going to balloon and your vessel is going to burst. This is on top of the large blood clot, which you see in the center of the material, which once it dislodged from the vessel wall, will travel to the smaller diameter vessels of your body, causing you a stroke event. This is in great contrast to our own material, for which you see the scaffold has been resorbed at this stage, resulting in a robust vascular wall that's formed and has absence of this threatening blood clot. This material, therefore, represents a potential best-in-class product addressing concerns that plague current patches, associated with ready availability, functionality, biocompatibility, and regeneration. And as a result, our value proposition benefits every one of our stakeholders, from the patient to the surgeon to the insurance provider. This material forms the basis of our multi-product development path, which begins with the vascular patches and grafts. The current products actually allow us to pursue studies wherein we can demonstrate our product is either similar, equivalent, or not better, And in doing so, we're able to already receive clearance to perform commercialization and for use in humans. Further, the established billing code can already be used with our product, meaning we can really streamline marketing of our product. We then will follow this with a line of products for which no off-the-shelf solution exists currently, such as cardiac bypass grafts. And once we've gained experience within these two product lines and achieved success, we'll be able to target our ultimate goal, which is products for which no solution exists currently, off the shelf or from your own body, represented by venous valve, all the way to full whole organs. Currently for the vessel patch, we've already completed benchtop studies, small animal trials, and a large animal pilot. We're currently seeking funding to perform our full large animal trials, which will get us to a key value inflection point and allow us to pursue first-in-man studies overseas. The benefit of a platform technology like ours is it's really flexible and scalable with a lot of opportunities for early revenue generation as exits, represented by opportunities to sub-license the technology, sell early products to the veterinary market, and then as we begin to approach the stage where we can perform human studies, we'll be able to co-develop technologies with strategic partners as well as pursue acquisition opportunities. We intend to begin in the Northern California space and regional clinics, and as we continue to gain support from key opinion leaders, as well as data indicating we have improved patient outcome and cost effectiveness, we'll begin to scale to the Bay Area, as well as outside of California, to hubs of innovative medical care. The success of Team iVita to date has been driven by a pair of biomedical engineers with a passion for business development and translational medicine. We're working with a wonderful pair of cardiovascular clinician advisors who are excited to bring about the next generation of cardiovascular therapies, as well as a team of experienced medtech advisors who are excited to help us develop our product. And so we sincerely hope that you never are in a position where you need a replacement tissue or organ, but it is our intent to be well positioned that if you ever do, we'll have a long-lasting and off-the-shelf solution for you. Thank you so much for your attention.
Next up, we have PicoYun.
Thank you for your attention. I'm Jay James from Team PicoYun. We're a chemical sensor company. I brought a prototype to pass around if anybody, you want to hand that around? Just try to not take it home. So we're a chemical sensing company with a platform that replaces a lab's bench worth of analytical equipment with a portable and easy-to-use device. The chemical sensing and biological sensing market is $12 billion. And we think that with better devices, we can protect the environment and protect human health. With this in mind, we've picked our first target, which is mercury. Mercury is a prevalent environmental toxin. We've all consumed mercury. Mainly we've heard from eating fish. These people in the video here from Minamata, Japan, were poisoned from methylmercury. And it caused disfigurement and death. More commonly, we're worried about the development of the fetus and small child from exposure to mercury and the neurological diseases that follow. The most common source of mercury is from combustion. So when you burn coal, you release mercury into the environment. In response to this, the United States has now regulated mercury emissions from coal power plants. So starting next year, there'll be 90% reductions in mercury emissions. Similar regulations are expected to follow around the world, particularly interesting in China, where coal and one of the major sources of mercury in the world. So another market of interest is the natural gas industry. So in gas processing, you have to remove mercury to protect equipment, like cold boxes and catalysts. These two guys together make a $200 million market. They're part of a larger $600 million mercury instrument market worldwide. And again, part of a $12 billion chemical biological sensing market. To better understand these customers, the utility and industrial customers, we joined the NSF I-Corps and did over 150 customer interviews. Right away, we found out that they're struggling to operate really complicated analytical equipment. And we picked out a few quotes here to sort of highlight those findings. Dow, who's the sponsor of this event, and you can't find more technically savvy folks than the people at Dow, they have struggled to operate these complicated instruments. And Mark Braden says they bought an inline monitor, just sits in the plant, it gathers dust, never got it to work. So at utility customers, where they struggle even more to find technical workers in the plants, it's even greater struggle. They're spending 8 hours a week or more just trying to get these machines to run. The end result is they're leaving a lot of money on the table. Without continuous measurements, they can't control the mercury accurately, and they can't save, and they have poor performance all around in their control technology. So how do we get a reliable, easy to use, and continuous device? We've developed a plasmonic sensor based on a mercury selective film of gold nanoparticles that absorbs mercury and responds with a change in visible light absorption. So this is over 10 years of university research here at UC Berkeley, where we patented the technology. We've since exclusively licensed it back to a company, built a commercial prototype, a piece of which is floating around somewhere, and use that to test a wide range of samples, field samples, contaminated samples, and run the same film continuously for 2 years. So it's a very reliable thing. So how does this compare to the existing technologies? There's a number of advantages. And what I want to highlight is that reliability and stability and sensitivity, those really translate to values in the plant, better performance for these utilities, better air quality control for all of us. And we were really excited. We've got this great technology. There's a lot of interest from utilities. They're calling us, asking us, what's the deal with our technology? So, we're ready to sell it. This is another big benefit of doing the customer interviews. We found out that a lot of the people that are interested in it aren't in fact the people buying the equipment. They don't buy. Utility customers are very conservative. They don't buy directly from small companies like us here. So rather than see the dozen competitors in this market as competitors, we're looking at them as partners and pursuing an OEM strategy where we package our detector into their architecture. We're able to access their conservative customers while still providing these values of reliability and improved performance. We've already talked to all of the major instrument companies to establish pricing and a plan for demonstration, side-by-side testing of our device with theirs. So then result is we'll do a demonstration in the coming months, work out a plan next year, 2015, first OEM sales of our mercury detector. 100 sales in the first year. Again, this is a high margin, sort of low volume sensor business. 1,000 units sold by the end of 2018. The whole time we're generating free cash flow we can fund back into our platform to develop the next targets. So plasmonic sensing is a great technology, and Mercury gives us a perfect opportunity to prove our technology and enter into this growing market. It's also, with Mercury sensing, we open up a $600 million business, but the addition of a simple selective film onto our gold nanoparticles opens up multi-billion-dollar business in the biological molecule markets like biomedical and pharmaceutical applications. So we think that as we grow our business with human health and environment in mind, we can create sensors that provide immediate diagnosis, better care, and a pollution that is controlled. So to do this, we have a great team. Myself and Jeff worked on it here for our PhDs in mechanical engineering. Dan, who's here at Haas finishing up. Andy, who's going off to Cornell next year for business school. But yeah, we've got a great team. And I'd like to thank Peter, who's been a very dedicated mentor through this program. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And now we have Build and Imagine.
Hey, I'm Lori Peterson. I'm an award-winning toy designer and the founder of Build and Imagine. This is a new toy company creating constructible play sets to get girls and boys building. So we are design complete on our first 3 play sets. We're kicking off manufacturing. We're patent pending. We had a successful Kickstarter campaign where we raised 150% of goal. And a few weeks ago, I was at Toy Fair, which is the largest industry trade show. And there we signed on retailers for a holiday 2014 launch, including Amazon and Zulily. Thank you. So this is a multi-billion-dollar category with some of the hottest growth rates in the toy industry, and it's ripe for a gender disruption. So I started Build and Imagine because what we play with matters. In my 10 years in the toy industry, I've seen how toys help to shape a child's view of the world and help them develop important skills. So those are photos of me up on the board as a child, building, decorating, and making up stories for the little characters who lived in my towns. Those play experiences really shaped me. So here I am, 30-something years later, and I'm still building little toy houses. And it's really unfortunate, actually, that many girls are not given building tools or building toys as tools. It's really unfortunate because these kind of toys develop important skills: spatial reasoning, design, and problem solving. And these are skills which are foundational to later succeed in careers like science, technology, engineering, and math, fields in which women represent only 24% of the workforce. So toys can make a difference. The design principle we use to get girls excited about construction is that buildings should facilitate imaginative play. So what you see up here, it's a magnetic building set. In each wall, there are illustrated panels that you can combine however you want magnetically. And the art on each wall combine to create the scene that entices the child's imagination. So as I was mentioning, this is a hot category right now. It has tripled in the past 10 years and has seen double-digit growth in recent years. A lot of this growth is coming from a brand new interest in getting girls building, so construction toys for girls. In fact, at Toy Fair, STEM Toys for Girls, or Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, Toys for Girls was cited by Common Sense Media as one of the hot trends at Toy Fair. And Build and Imagine, my company, was included among the 4 to watch. So high growth in the toy industry is possible even with a really focused offering. In 2012, LEGO came out with a new girls line. Who here has played with LEGO before, so you know what I'm talking about? Okay. Anyone has played with LEGO Friends, the new girls line? Okay, one gentleman over here, thank you. So LEGO had never succeeded with girls before. In fact, 90% of its playsets were really targeted towards boys. If you looked at the minifig, it was a 90% ratio there. So this is the first time that they came out with a successful girls line. It exceeded all market expectations, helped LEGO to become the highest value toy company in the world, and suddenly they're earning $1 billion in profits every year. So it also turns out that it was a really great thing for new entrants such as myself, because retailers now realize, oh wow, okay, there's demand in construction toys for girls. So now they're looking to build out this category. Meanwhile, Mattel was looking over their shoulder, seeing what LEGO was doing with construction toys for girls, and decided they need to get in on the action. So they just acquired Mega, maker of Mega Bloks Barbie, in order to get a hold of their own girls' construction toy line. There are also examples of other startups and medium-sized companies growing and doing well in this category, as well as lucrative exits. So the Leapfrog IPO is one that I was a part of. So I was a toy designer for Leapfrog for 5 years, and there I had the honor of 3 of my toys winning top honors in the toy industry, so the Toy of the Year awards. I then went on to do advertising for Leapfrog for a few years. Most recently, I came out of Haas with my MBA and started a tech toy startup. It's called Siftio, or venture-backed startup, and the makers of Siftio Cubes, these interactive devices. So there I founded the marketing team and took the retail storefronts from 0 to 500 storefronts, had a really successful PR campaign, earned 76 million impressions for a product launch. So I do have an MBA from Berkeley. Build and Imagine currently resides at Skydeck. This is the 6th startup I've been a part of. But it's the first time I'm a founder, so that makes me really hungry to make this one a success. I'm working with an awesome team. In fact, Sarah, will you say hi? So Sarah's my fabulous operations person. We work together at Siftio, the interactive game system. She's also going to be my first hire if I successfully close this fundraising round or win today's grand prize, so we'll see how that goes. So yay for Sarah's future job. And I'm also working with an excellent illustrator named Kathy Mingus. Kathy Mingus is such an amazing contributor to this project, and she's a top children's book illustrator. She works with top brands, including American Girl Doll, which is the #6 girl property. I also have a great advisor, some of whom are here as well. Where's Hillary? Hillary, thank you, Hillary. Okay. Okay, so Kathy Mingus's illustrations are part of, I think, what makes us really special. So I had 20 or so kids over to my house to play with the prototype, and one of the moms said, we'll see how this goes. My daughter's never liked building toys before. And I said, okay, well, yeah, we'll see how it goes. And she started playing with the building sets and was really engaged. And the mom was like, oh, wow. So I spoke with the child after she finished playing and said, well, what did you think? And she said, oh, yeah, this is way better than other building toys because there are pictures. And I said, okay, well, why do pictures matter? And she looked at me like, duh. She said, pictures are better than plain things. And so that's really the secret sauce here. When you're building with most magnetic toys, there are these abstract shapes, and there aren't all these layers to the play. With Build and Imagine play sets, it's like you're building the storybook setting and hopping into play. So it really creates an extended play value. We're launching with 3 play sets for the holiday of this year. They all work together in a coastal theme. My personal favorite is the Marine Rescue Center. And this is really just the beginning. We plan to introduce additional themes, as well as accessory kits like furniture, vehicles, dolls, etc. And if this turns out to be successful, there's also the future potential to license the Build and Imagine IP to their toys, books, video, etc. So the growth potential here is significant. So where we are now, as I mentioned, we had a successful Kickstarter campaign. We're design complete on our first 3 playsets, and we are currently fundraising and kicking off manufacturing in order to be in store in September. With that, we're going to have a really nice PR campaign with gift guides and product reviews and things like that. So we are patent pending. The broadest claim we're trying to protect is magnetic construction set with illustrations. And I think that's really critical, but it's not going to be what makes or breaks us, but rather it's our ability to connect with our customers. So my favorite example comes from American Girl Doll. The founder of that doll startup was able to sell her company for $700 million to Mattel because she created such a connection with the customer. So that is really what we are looking to do with our Build and Imagine dolls and the world that we're creating for girls. Thank you.
And now please welcome Persistent Efficiency.
Hi, my name is Jason Traeger. I'm the CEO of Persistent Efficiency.
My name is Richard Su. I'm the CTO of Persistent Efficiency.
And our business is making buildings well. And so we're going to tell you a little story. Who here has rented a building of any kind? Yeah, more than that. Come on. Anyway, so renters, they come into a building. They want to know which building is good. They want to know which building should I rent. Luckily for them, cities have started mandating building benchmarking. We can actually start to see in a lot of cities, in a policy-driven way, which buildings are doing well. And so what do? We choose a building that's rated A. The building owner for the building that was rated C, he doesn't like this. He wants to get his building fixed. We do this in a process called retro commissioning. Keep that word in mind. We're going to come back to it. So how do you get from a C building to an A building? Anybody know? All right, good. You put some time, money, you hire some people who know what they're talking about, and then over time, your building degrades. Your building degrades. It's unfortunate that there's no mass manufacturing process that brings this process to be persistently efficient. Our buildings degrade, and we want to stop that. So, where's our market? We're Persistent Efficiency. We provide building owners with a continuing performance subscription. We provide retro commissioning agents who are our customers with technology and enabling features to help this happen. And retro commissioning agents fix buildings and are given jobs. But let's look at the market. Retro commissioning costs about 30 cents a square foot. It is a potential of a $4.3 billion market a year, and it pays back in 1.1 years. But we can't get there because there's no scalable solution in the market. Little buildings cannot be fixed at a speedy rate, and the only people who do this are large buildings who have a lot to lose from not being energy efficient. Enter Persistent Efficiency. For a subscription price of 3 cents per square foot per year, that's $3,000 on a 100,000 square foot building, we provide building managers with benefits and savings from day one, and we enable a market size of this subscription of $600 million a year in the US alone. And we've had a little bit of market validation. We have our first customer. We're working with KW Engineering out of Oakland. We are in the running for a $1 million Department of Energy grant, and we're finalists in this little startup competition called Launch. You may have heard of it. I don't know. So, just to be clear, we make building owners money. The money goes through the retro commissioning agents and winds up in both their hands and our hands. So, what do? I've been spending the last 4 years of my PhD researching statistical process control. That's how we keep factories in line. I use manufacturing math to tune buildings. We find outliers and detect them.
And my PhD research has been focusing on the development of a stick-on monitoring systems that can be easily installed on the surface of circuit breaker panels. And it measures electricity usage without making physical contact to the conductors. So it sounds like magic. But this is not the point. The point is being so easy to install, it actually reduced the cost of a system to be only 1/10 of any existing solutions in the market. So we're very confident that this is going to be a game changer for the SM metering market. So in these slides, I'm going to talk about how these two technologies work together as a single product. So I'm going to use the following analogies. First of all, we like to treat buildings as our patients. It has all sorts of different problems. And Jason's software will be just like your general practitioners. It checks your vital signs, which is the energy use data, and it will identify anomalies as outliers. And then it provides a preliminary diagnosis. Based on that, we're able to deploy these stick-on meters into the buildings and then segment the loads into different categories, such as HVAC systems, lightings, plug loads, according to different floors. And these systems will become your MRI system. Just like your MRI will give you a very detailed analysis of the buildings. And then we're going to leave the system behind, right? So the system will continue stream data to the software, and the software is able to not only monitor these loads, but also analyze the performance of energy usage for these loads continuously afterwards.
And so we analyze these loads in a quick, low-cost, and precise way. Our system is dirt cheap. We can leave it behind, and we can see what's going wrong in the buildings when. And so this is great. Can we make money? The answer is yes. Everybody makes money. People, planet, profit. We all win. So on day one, don't laugh, I'm serious. On day one, the building owner has a $30,000 a year savings. But by year 8, without our system, that savings drops by half or more. We prevent that. Persistent efficiency makes savings persist in buildings. And retro commissioning agents, people who fix buildings, develop a relationship with their buildings. So instead of, I don't know if you ever go to the doctor and then you forget to make an appointment for like 3 years, but that happens in buildings too. People do not get their buildings fixed on time, and so we can build recurring customer base. And this is what the market is supposed to look like. You go in, you get your building fixed, you have an expense. In the first year and the 5th year, you get the savings. Nobody does this. It'd be like calling your doctor on time. So what we provide is a subscription commissioning platform. And what happens is that when it's financially viable for your building to get fixed, it happens. It'd be like your car's check engine light came on, it went to the mechanic, it got itself fixed, it came back, it was in your garage the next day, fixed and at top fuel mileage. And so we present value to the building owner, to persistent efficiency, and to the retro commissioning agent, enabling a $600 million a year market in the US and a $2.5 billion a year market in the world. And so our plan is go to market, partner with retro commissioning companies. We're doing that, check. Further develop through field testing, doing that. And deploy subscription-based commissioning. The utilities want this. It's in their best interest. So we're going to partner with them. There's a company out there who we admire a lot called O-Power. They deliver mailers to residential customers. We want to do that for commercial customers. We bring them knowledge of when their buildings aren't performing, and we get it fixed. And so we have some competitors. I'm going to go through this really quick. Our competitors, they have new business models for energy efficiency. They have whole building analytics, and they have low-cost sub-meter, but nobody but persistent efficiency does it all. We can do it, and we can bring this to the whole market, small buildings to large. And so I'm going to go through our timeline very quick. We are here at the STAR. And so by July, we're going to have our minimum viable product. In August, we're going to have the largest energy efficiency conference in the US. We're going to acquire our beta testers there after our alpha phase. We're then going to move on, raise funds, have a full design team hired by December, and have 30 buildings deployed by next year for our beta phase. Throughout this, we're going to burn $50,000 a month. We need $1.5 million to get started. And we'd like to thank everyone who's been involved, including the organizations, our board of advisors, and our mentor, Matt Price. Thank you very much. Persistent efficiency persists.
And now up we have Kudo.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so my name is Agung, and my partner is Albert. And we are Kudo. Kudo is a point-of-sale system that provides convenient one-stop shopping experience in Indonesia. This is really a story of 250 million people living in Indonesia, the fourth most populous country in the world. A lot of people is translated oftenly to a lot of problems. And one of the problems is that the shopping experience is horrible. I was one of the crowds over there 2 years back there. And imagine like Friday evening, you want to go to the movies, getting a ticket. I need to face that 2 hours traffic before going to the cinema. And after that, when I got into the cinema, I need to face a queue, and that's done. I don't get the ticket. And it's not only that, it's like the online shopping experience as well is really, really horrible. I don't want to use my credit card because I'm afraid that my credit card is going to be stolen. So, yeah, basically, either you pass that traffic or you are not getting anything. So, digging deeper into the payment mechanism itself, 150 million people don't have access. There is no such a media that provides 150 million people, middle class there in Indonesia, that can get convenient and accessibility for their payment mechanism. Only 2% out of 250 million people that has credit cards. 2% only. It is really, really small. And basically, it is really difficult to get anything done.
So, to fill that big gap, we are introducing Kudo. Kudo is our vision to redefine the payment experience in Indonesia. It is an electronic point-of-sale system that sells many different products across different customers in Indonesia. We sell products ranging from movie tickets, transportation tickets, all the way to giving our customers the ability to purchase and to pay for their utilities bill online through one of our kiosks. Kudo will be located at many different locations near our customers. The idea is really simple. We will partner with a chain of businesses, starting from convenience stores, coffee shops, restaurants, and malls. And we will have this at many different places so that customers like Agung no longer have to wait in long lines and try to beat the traffic just to get his movie tickets on a Friday evening. Now I'm going to walk you through a simple use case of what Kudo is to better help you understand. This is what our customers will see when they visit the Kudo Box machine. It is a beautiful, simple to use interface. It's a touch-based tablet that is installed at many different places. Now, for this purpose of use case, I'm going to walk you through what happens, let's say, if a customer wants to buy a movie ticket. It's really simple. Just pick a movie that you want to watch, and then indicate what time and also which location you want to watch this movie in so that you don't have to physically go to the movie theater. And then pick your seats, just like the experience when you are picking movie seats at the theater. And when you're done, the machine will produce a barcode that you can bring directly to the movie theater. After this, you are basically skipping the entire line of all of the many shopping experiences in Indonesia. And bear in mind, movie is just one sample scenario. There are so many use cases, such as the transportation ticket, or even sporting event tickets. Imagine if you can say to your friends that you can bypass all those lines, not only in Indonesia, but also in many places throughout the world. The other features of Kudo that I'd like to mention today is our ability to connect the online world with the offline world together. And I think this is really amazing. So, as Agung mentioned, 98% of the population in Indonesia do not have access to credit card. That is just amazing to me how can a country survive with that small percentage of credit cards. I'm so used to being here in the States. I go to Amazon, 2 clicks later, I'm done. But you can't do that in Indonesia. So our solution offers you this ability. So to basically, we partners with sites like Amazon.com. We act as one of their payment providers so that our customers can check out using us. So say you want to buy something at Amazon. You check out and you choose us. You will be presented with a transaction ID. This transaction ID will simply be sent to you, to our customers, via either text message or email. And as a customer, you just need to bring this transaction ID directly to Kudo Box. You find our machine, put the transaction ID, and then there you go. You can complete your checkout at offline locations. And we think that this is really going to be beneficial to many, many of the middle class in Indonesia who do not have access to credit cards or even smartphones. The last step of using Kudo is just to pay for whatever that you purchase to the cashier. And you can pay using any payment methods. We accept everything that basically our cashier register accepts, which is involving cash, debit card, or credit cards. It's really simple, accessible, and convenient for our customers. With Kudo, they can also ship the items that whatever they purchase directly to the partners that have Kudo machines. So we think this is going to be really, really beneficial for our customers. Now I'm going to hand it back over to Agung to talk about some of the financial numbers and also some models behind Kudo.
Yes, so those are about the products, and let's think about how to make money out of this. It is very simple. So revenue business model for Kudo is driven by 3 main things: number of customers, number of vendors, and also number of kiosks were located in our partner store. And all of those is translated into the number of transactions. For each of the transactions, we are taking 2.5% charging to the vendors, and we are sharing this to our partners as well. On top of that, we are also charging some revenue to customers for any value-added services that our customers is using. For example, returning to the convenience stores or delivery to the convenience stores. So we are a win-win solution for our vendors, for our customers, as well as for our convenience stores partners. And this is us. The last piece of the puzzle is us. We are born and raised in Indonesia, and we are so passionate to make the change of this to improve the shopping experience of 150 million middle class in Indonesia. Albert has been in years of experience in high-tier US company like Apple and Goldman, and he will be leading the product development. And I will bring the in-depth market knowledge for Indonesia because I've been working in BCG for almost 5 years. And beyond that, I've been covering a lot of different markets and also different industry. So here we are. Thank you for being here and support us in transforming our mission to bring this convenient experience that you guys have to 150 million people back in Indonesia. It's going to be amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And now for our final team of the evening, we have Aware, Breathe Better Technology.
So my name is Rush Bartlett, and I'm one of the co-founders of Aware, Breathe Better Technology. So the canvassing process of needs across various hospitals in California, we realized that breathing tube discomfort was a $30 billion problem in the United States. Wishbone is a straightforward solution that numbs the back of the throat to eliminate breathing tube discomfort and the downstream complications it presents. We need $3 million over 3 years to be cash flow positive because we have a very straightforward, low-bar regulatory approval process. This was chosen from over 300 clinical needs that we initially identified to look at to do problem solving and start a business in this space, and it was the top by far. We've done prototype testing in cadavers and also used the devices on a few of the founders. And we've received about $250,000 in non-dilutive funding so far and run a 15-patient proof of concept trial at Stanford Hospital under IRB approval. So 1.6 million people are ventilated every year for at least 24 hours in our nation's ICUs. And the life-sustaining breaths are given through this breathing tube right here. But almost all of these people are kept in drug-induced comas because you're constantly gagging on the breathing tube. The insight we had was that not everyone is sedated in the ICU. Patient on the left has a lot of devices hooked up, critically ill, anxiety-provoking environment, and the two patients on the middle and on the right have what are called tracheostomies, or surgical airways placed, where they're still being ventilated, but they're not typically sedated because there's nothing going through the gag reflex. The gag reflex is the big problem here, and the breathing tube causes it to be excruciating, resulting in the number one identified source of discomfort during an ICU stay from a variety of patient surveys. Sedation itself, which is used to treat that gag reflex, delays recovery. You spend twice as long on the ventilator. You spend 38% longer in the ICU, 32% longer in your hospital stay overall, and there are $30 billion in downstream complications that are presented because of the sedation, which causes cardiovascular and cognitive deficits. These complications include ICU delirium or temporary confusion or craziness, pneumonia, muscle weakness or wasting, DVT, and pressure ulcers, which are some of the greatest unmet needs in healthcare. Wishbone is the simple solution for this. It's a catheter, goes right over the tube. It numbs two key spots in the back of the throat to do a topical nerve block of the entire gag reflex. Those are cadaver images in the top and the bottom, and then on the right is just an airway mannequin of what it would look like. Our inspiration for how to design Wishbone came from watching a procedure called bronchoscopy. We noticed kind of oddly that although there was a fiber optic camera kind of wiggling around in the same spot that was causing problems with the breathing tube, these patients were not really that sedated. Typically, most of them were awake. Reason being is because the smart doctors were numbing the back of the throat prior to the procedure with a little bit of topical lidocaine, meaning that they could have a higher throughput on these patients to get them out there faster. But this is a one-time application, which is only good for 30 minutes. We used that one-time application in that Stanford IRB-approved study to kind of get an idea about proof of concept in the ICU population. And some patients responded incredibly well, but because it was a one-time application, we couldn't really draw a lot of meaningful conclusions other than you can definitely use lidocaine and apply it in the ICU workflow. But since then, we've gone to iterative testing in cadavers and also, as I mentioned, in a few of the founders. Some of the validation of the market need is that right now the only way to treat breathing tube discomfort is with intravenous sedatives. And this is the market-leading intravenous sedative, dexmedetomidine. It costs $850, and if we're able to reduce that by 50%, which is what our clinical literature search indicates we could do, we could, of course, generate a value proposition of $425 to the hospital. So if we come in at a price point of $350, the hospital's going to see a little money, and it's a direct cost savings on a hard cost metric of something they're already buying and saving money on. Meaning that obviously the system's going to save money on sedation, but all of the extra stuff like reduction of length of stay and reduction of all those complications are significant windfalls to the hospitals that are going to drive a very, very strong appetite for adoption of Wishbone. And it's not just my word that this is a problem. The 4 leading critical care societies in the country have gotten together and created this thing called the Choosing Wisely campaign, which identifies the top 5 needs in critical care medicine. And of those, don't deeply sedate your mechanically ventilated patients was one of those top 5 needs. So the entire market, from the provider level to the critical care societies to even the insurance companies, are moving to eliminate things that are caused by hospital, or that cause hospital-acquired complications. From a regulatory perspective, we don't need clinical trials. It's a straightforward 510(k) device. It can be on the market next year. And from an intellectual property perspective, we've done a ton of work here. We have an extremely strong position and have been backed up by 2 external prior art searches and a claims analysis by a represented law firm. From the end of the year, we have to do a little bit more refinement to get the clinical build done, but then should be able to do the biocompatibility testing and the bench testing that's required for the FDA submission to go in at the end of the year. Then we should receive that submission approval back after a 90-day review period sometime in the middle of 2015. We can then start selling the device, but what we're going to do instead is run a short 30-patient trial to make sure that everything checks out and to give us some data to use for our marketing so that we can have a higher impact on our sales cycle. Then roll that into a 150-patient trial to further build on those marketing materials with a high-impact journal publication, which is what all of these intensive care unit docs are looking to validate something is viable in the market space. And then use that data to kind of go back for a second 510(k) to do more detailed marketing claims if we need that. The market itself, as I mentioned, is 1.6 million people that need this device every year. These are some of the most sick patients in the United States. And an average ICU would only use about 270 devices, meaning that this $95,000 price point that they're going to see is just below the threshold that would trigger a budget review. So we can get in there fast and be able to sell these devices quickly without too much of a headache. The market itself is pretty good size. It's 560 million. Meaning that this is incredibly lucrative. And we have an exceptional team behind us. We have Dr. Van Wert, who's a pulmonologist and just finished his critical care training. So he's officially now an intensivist that works in the ICU. Myself started a company previously that was venture-backed and has now gone on to do great things. Frank Wang, who's started a company out of his PhD that has a CE mark approved pressure ulcer detection device. And then Ivan Svetanov, who's got experience with a company he's co-founded that raised $12.5 million to do a transoral stomach stapling device. So he's got the direct development experience in airway catheters. So we really have a stacked team to do this that has experience doing this before. We've raised a bit of seed money to get things moving. As I said, we're looking for an investment. So if you'd like to talk to me afterwards, that'd be great. And we've received a lot of support thus far, and we'd like to thank our supporting folks. So with that, I have 9 seconds left, and I'll let you get to the next part of your day or evening.
And now it's time to vote for your favorite team amongst those 8 finalists. This will be for the $5,000 People's Choice Award.
Alrighty. We are about to get to the fanfare part of the evening. Before we do, I'd like to invite Michael Baum from Founder.org. They're one of the major sponsors of the competition, so we appreciate him very much. What's cool? And I'll just add a little bit about who he is. He started Splunk, founder, CEO, biggest tech IPO, enterprise tech IPO, and biggest IPO of 2012. So we're really fortunate to have him here with us.
Thank you, Moses. So for those of you that don't know, Founder.org is a foundation that works with research institutes and universities like Berkeley around the world in 9 different countries now. And our whole reason for being is to support you all, students, who have big ideas and help you turn them into high-impact companies. We run a 12-month intense company building program where you'll learn how to recruit and manage A-player talent, build and run a sales team, and become a management team, not just a set of co-founders, and learn how to manage a board of directors. So all of those scaling functions to how do you actually execute on building a company once you've got your idea and you've decided you want to do this. This year we'll invite 50 teams into our class of 2015. And the top 10 teams will each win a $100,000 prize upon entering our program in June. The teams, all 50, are eligible to approach us for funding from our $100 million fund that is designed only for student entrepreneurs from our 24 partner schools around the world, including UC Berkeley. So it's a very exclusive opportunity for you to reach out for help and funding in building your company. Important, the deadline for this is May 10th. That's in just about 2 weeks now. You can apply at our website. Only takes a minute. Super easy. And we do have a presentation day tomorrow. If you weren't able to get on that, you're still eligible to apply. We can arrange for a presentation with you online through Google Hangouts. So please consider that. So Andre asked me to say a few words about the judging. Lest you think this is easy to judge this thing, think about what we had to deal with today, right? A company doing mercury chemical testing, a toy company for girls to learn how to build things and get more creative, a company that makes it less painful to shove a tube down your throat in the hospital. Like, this is not easy stuff to judge. It's all very different. So how do we do this? Well, we gave each team 20 minutes to present to us, and then we spent about 5 minutes discussing it afterwards. We each one of the 5 judges scored each team on 5 different dimensions, and after all the teams had presented, we picked the best team in each one of the 4 categories for the competition. As you know, web and IT, energy, products and services, and life sciences. And then we picked an overall winner. And this is the second year I've judged the competition finals. And I can tell you it's not easy because the competitors are really good. I mean, you guys are full of inspiration here and you're getting a lot of good coaching. So of all the schools that I travel to around the world, Berkeley is one of the most competitive. We had 2 outstanding winners of our $100,000 prizes last year, Echo Devices and Pristine Solutions, which were both in the competition last year. So we're we consider ourselves blessed to be here, part of this amazing community of entrepreneurship at Berkeley. You're also inspired. You inspire us. So most of the debate when it comes down to the category winner and the overall winner ends up being around 2 things. And I think you should keep this in mind when you're pitching investors in the future. 1, the credibility and the passion of the entrepreneur. And 2, how big of a company do we think you can ultimately create with this? And generally investors think about 5 to 10 year kind of time horizons. The average time to liquidity in Silicon Valley is about 8 years now, whether it's an M&A activity or an IPO. So we discuss not just how big we think the available market is, but how likely it is that you are to get there with your go-to-market and your business model. And that's where most companies, young companies, fall down, is they don't think creatively enough about their business model. So think about those 2 things when you're pitching investors. How do you make yourself credible and show your passion? And how do you show us that this is a large market opportunity? So with that, I just want to say thank you again for letting us be part of your wonderful entrepreneurial community here. Keep being inspired and chasing big ideas. Thank you.
Okay, now on to the prizes. The first one we're going to do is the elevator pitch contest. This is the one that you guys chose. And the elevator pitch winner, come on down, is SmartBud. We're now going to do each of the tracks for IT and Web. For IT and Web, the winner is Re-Meeting. Yeah. Get in there. For the energy track, the winner is Picoyin. For the products and services track, the winner is Tiemann & Co. The life sciences track, the winner is Aware, Breathe Better Technology. Okay, now the People's Choice. The People's Choice Award, you guys chose as the winning team. Flip it. Viveda Technologies. Alrighty, and the big one, get your hands ready for clapping. The grand prize winner of the 2014 launch competition is Re-Meeting.
Before you guys leave, we just wanted to leave you with a little haiku that we wrote.
Launch has been so fun.
We're so proud of what you've done.
There's so much more to come.
Congratulations, everyone, and thanks for the effort.